After half an hour, Zhang Yi searched every corner of the subway tunnel in Tianfeng district. However, he did not find any signs of the zombies. In other words, the zombies were not hiding here at all. How could this be? If there are none in Tianfeng district, do I have to search the entire Tianhai city? Or is it that the existence of a larger group of corpses is just my overthinking? Zhang Yi frowned and quickly rejected this idea. No, they must exist. There's no reason for Yuan Kongye to give up such a big trump card. Just when he came to the most remote and desolate area on the northeastern edge of Tianhai City, Flower finally showed an unusual reaction. It was just the subway line that had just arrived here. Flower's hair stood up, his eyes fixed on the dark tunnel ahead, and he issued a low and long warning sound. It has also fought many zombies. I have dealt with it for the first time, and I am very familiar with this kind of breath, and it can be so frightening. Obviously, there are a lot of zombies ahead. Zhang Yi showed a faint smile and even felt relieved. So it's hidden here? Aoshan District, one of the most remote areas in Tianhai City, can be said to be the junction of urban and rural areas. There are almost no resources here, so there is no force occupying this place. Yuan Kongye hid the group of zombies here, which is very cunning. Zhang Yi smiled, but his eyes were full of vigilance. Although he has the ability to travel through space, he can ensure that his and Flower will not be in danger. But there are 2 points. First, he does not want to alarm such a large number of zombies in advance to avoid triggering a zombie riot. Second, there are intelligent creatures such as zombie kings among the zombies. If it finds that its existence is exposed, it will definitely pass it to Yuan Kongye. In that case, Yuan Kongye and her team may launch an attack in advance and destroy other forces in Tianhai City. Zhang Yi opened the different space and took out a big gray rat from it. Its body size is about the same as Flower, and there is a faint, strange red light flashing in its eyes. However, it is not a real giant rat. It is a mechanical rat that Zhang Yi asked Lu Karen to help build. In order not to be discovered, Zhang Yi smeared the flesh and blood of the giant rat on its body many times to ensure that there was no problem with its smell. Then Zhang Yi placed it deep in the tunnel, and he quickly retreated to a certain distance with Flower. Then, Zhang Yi took out the satellite phone and controlled it to go deep into the subway ahead through the set program. This giant rat was created by Lu Karen, and it was vivid. If you didn't look carefully, you wouldn't know it was a mechanical rat. It can even imitate the sounds of rats and communicate simply. The mechanical rat quickly traveled through the underground tunnel. The subway line in Aoshan District is very large, and it will take a while to investigate it. Zhang Yi was not in a hurry. He was very patient to do this, and everything in the subway was transmitted to the satellite phone with the perspective of the mechanical mouse. Zhang Yi and Flower waited for another 2 hours and finally found the picture they wanted to see. In the deepest part of the subway tunnel in Aoshan District, there are indeed a very terrifying number of zombies sleeping here, layered and blocking many railway tunnels. Zhang Yi's preliminary estimate of the number is also 300,000 or more. That's right, the lower limit is 300,000 and the upper limit is immeasurable. Because going forward, the mechanical mouse can no longer get through. The number of deaths in Tianhai City is close to 20 million, which are excellent materials for making zombies. As long as they are given enough time, the number of zombies will be incalculable. Zhang Yi took a deep breath, and he immediately controlled the mechanical mouse to leave the group of zombies, and then found a drain and drilled in. Finally, the mechanical mouse entered standby mode there. If necessary, it can still be used. If not, let it stay here. In short, it must not be discovered by others. Zhang Yi took Flower and quickly left the underground tunnel. After returning to the surface, Zhang Yi felt the cold wind outside, looked at the vast snowfield, and exhaled a long breath of turbid air. Although my guess has been confirmed, I can't be happy at all. The real challenge is still ahead, Zhang Yi said with narrowed eyes. On the other side, the investigation team did not leave Tianhai City. Although they had killed 6 zombie kings in the battle at the snow worship Zhao camp, turning hundreds of thousands of zombies into headless flies. But in order to ensure that the zombie crisis is completely resolved, they still need to stay in Tianhai City to do some finishing work. But the follow-up work is relatively simple. They just need to confirm that there will be no zombie corps in Tianhai City that are large and commanded by intelligent creatures. So they began to explore the subways near several major forces where the zombies are most likely to gather. But after more than 10 days, they did not find any signs of zombie kings in Tianhai City. Therefore, the members of the investigation team more or less believed that the zombie crisis was over, on the black snowmobile. Udi leaned against the seat and said lazily, "Can we go back? There are no zombies in Tianhai City now, only some scattered and brainless zombies are left. The rest of the problems will be solved by their local people. We can go back to Blizzard City and have a good rest for a while." Everyone smiled and agreed with Udi's statement. However, the deputy captain Bailey Chang-King glanced at Bian Junwoo. Whether to go back or not, it is still up to this boss to decide. "Boss, is there any finishing work to be done next?" Bian Junwoo pushed his frog glasses. "It seems that there is no big problem at present." He actually felt uneasy in his heart. It was because of this feeling that he was not in a hurry to leave. The source of this feeling was, first, his experience, and second, what Zhang Yi had said to him. The mission in Tianhai City was completed too smoothly. Even though many people died, the members of the investigation team were intact, and the battle process was also safe and sound. Just like that, 6 corpse kings were killed in one battle. This was so smooth that it seemed like a script that was arranged. Bian Junwoo had dealt with many troublesome incidents, and he was very sensitive to natural crises and man-made crises. So the fact that this mission was too smooth made him suspicious. However, during the time they stayed in Tianhai City, they did not find any suspicious points. They could not stay in Tianhai City forever. After receiving their report, the superiors also urged them to go back as soon as possible. The senior management of Blizzard City were very interested in Yuan Kongye and her Bing Po. Bian Junwoo looked at the relaxed smiles of the team members and thought to himself, "Let's go back first and report to the commander. If there is any change here later, you can contact Zhang Yi and them." So, Bian Junwoo slowly said, "Well, let's go back to Blizzard City first." The investigation team cheered. Qi Guangming and Kong Sheng clapped their hands happily. After completing this mission, they can get rewards from the headquarters and have a good rest for a while. Bailey Chang-King laughed and said, "It's a pity that Zhang Yi and Yuan Kongye didn't go back with us." Meng Siyu, a biological and medical expert next to him, smiled and said, "Oh, Deputy Captain, are you looking forward to them?" Bailey Chang-King smiled and said, "In fact, I have met several strange people in Tianhai City. I think it's good. But I'm most interested in Zhang Yi and Yuan Kongye's abilities." Meng Siyu thought for a moment, then nodded with a smile. Indeed, it's very rare for people with special abilities to reach the Delta level. Zhang Yi's ability is very important in any team, and Yuan Kongye's ability is at the strategic level. On the contrary, people like Xiao Honglian, Xing Tian, and Wei Dinghai have combat-oriented abilities, which are not scarce in Blizzard City. Bian Junwoo thought of Zhang Yi and Yuan Kongye and said lightly, "Let's discuss their affairs slowly later." In principle, if Zhang Yi has no interest in developing in Blizzard City, he will not force him. However, once it is found out that Yuan Kongye's ability can really produce mutants in large quantities, then it will not be up to her to decide whether to go or not. Bian Junwoo made a decision, and everyone went back home. Bailey Chang-King drove the car and turned it towards the border of Tianhai City. But just before the car left Tianhai City, Bian Junwoo's satellite phone received a call request from Zhang Yi. Bian Junwoo frowned slightly. Bailey Chang-King saw this and asked, "Boss, is it a call from the headquarters?" "No, it's Zhang Yi's call," Bian Junwoo said lightly. When Udi heard Zhang Yi's name, he frowned, and his face was full of impatience. "This guy, why didn't he fight earlier or later but called before we were about to leave? Is he looking for trouble?" Udi has always disliked Zhang Yi, and even showed a hint of hostility. Zhang Yi also knew about this, but he always felt puzzled because he had never offended Udi. Bian Junwoo did not answer Udi's words, but after the satellite phone rang a few times, he reached out and pressed the connect button. "Hello, this is Bian Junwoo," Bian Junwoo said lightly. His voice was still as cold as ice and snow. Zhang Yi's voice rang out from the other end of the phone. "Captain Bian, this is Zhang Yi. May I ask if you have left Tianhai City now?" Bian Junwu glanced at the direction the car was heading, less than 10 kilometers away from the border of Tianhai City. He said lightly, "Almost." Zhang Yi's heart tightened, but he still acted relatively calm. "Is that so? There is one thing I think I need to tell you before you leave." "What is it?" Zhang Yi said. "I found another group of zombies." Bian Junwu's cold face showed a touch of emotion. Zhang Yi continued, "And this time the scale is bigger and more ferocious than before." Bian Junwu finally couldn't help it. He said to Bailey Changqing, "Stop!" Bailey Changqing immediately stepped on the brakes. The people in the investigation team looked at Bian Junwu with different expressions, wondering what he had heard Zhang Yi say.